Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the new Huda Beauty Stick foundation, which is this guy right here. Mine just came in yesterday. I ordered mine during the Sephora VIB sale so I could get that extra discount on it. This is Huda Beauty's latest launch in terms of complexion products. This is supposed to be kind of like the opposite to her initial foundation launch that came out a couple years ago, the Fauxfilter liquid foundation, which was meant to be full coverage, very matte, and also very fragranced. If you tried that foundation, then you will know what I am talking about. I did actually purchase that foundation at the time, and let me just say I used it once or twice and it was a no-go for me. It broke me out. The scent was too intense. I don't think I even got the correct shade. The shade was a bit deeper. It was actually, no, quite a bit deeper and way too warm for my complexion at the time. So I ended up gifting it to someone that could get more use out of it. So I was really excited when she announced the launch of this stick foundation because this item is supposed to be light to medium coverage, fragrance free, which is awesome, and I've seen so far a lot of really good reviews on it, so I did want to test it out. So this product comes in 39 shades. They did add a few more shades from what they had in the first foundation. She mentioned that they had added a couple shades that they thought were missing in between other shades, and if you go on her website or on her blog, it actually gives you a side-by-side between what your shade was in the original foundation and therefore what your shade will be in the new foundation. So this is the component out of the box. I am actually wearing it right now, so mine is used. I'm gonna walk you guys through the application in a minute here, but just so you guys can see, the cap comes off and this twists up. My shade, or the shade I ended up going with, is Toasted Coconut 24N, so it's a bit more neutral. And the reason why I decided to go with this shade is because the warmer toned ones, which is typically what I go for, just seem to air too warm or too golden for my preference, so it made it hard to determine which one would work best for me. So I ended up going with the Toasted Coconut. I'll let you guys know what I felt about it in the try on portion. I don't want to spoil it. But the Toasted Coconut, I'm going to go ahead and do a swipe here on my hand so you guys can see. Still has a bit of warmth, so it's neutral. It's supposed to be a bit of like your pink and your golden in there. So not a bad match. It's just a little lighter than what I would usually go for. And there I go spoiling what I thought about the shade. We also released alongside this foundation a brush, a foundation brush with it that I did not purchase, and a primer, which I believe it's called the Jelly Primer, that are supposed to work hand in hand with this. But right now, let's get into the try on portion of this video. All right, guys, so I went ahead and primed, and I primed using my Milk Makeup Hygro-grip primer. This is what I always use, so realistically using this foundation, that's the primer I would use it with, so I want to see how well they work together. And the shade I got in the Huda Beauty Stick foundation is the shade Toasted Coconut. I believe the shade is like at the start of the light medium range, so let's hope this matches. I just dug right into it. Great. So this is what the component looks like. It's a very sleek stick to foundation. On the inside you get this kind of square diamond shape, so we're just going to twist that up and we're going to try it on the face. Before we do that though, just to let you guys know, I am going to be using a brush to blend it out. I usually use a brush to blend out my foundation, which again is why I want to keep it to something more realistic, so what I would actually do, and I would actually blend it out with the brush, so I want to see how well it works there. You guys can see where I dug the cap into it, so just be careful with that. Let's get started, and I'm going to do a couple swipes and just kind of see what the shade looks like. So I'm going to do a little bit and then build my way up. The shade is looking just a little too neutral for my preference, I think. I like to go for a more warmer shade, but trying to find my shade on the Sephora website was hard just because the G shades, or the warmer shades, the golden shades, just seemed too golden, and then the neutrals looked too pink. So, okay, so that's a very thin layer, which I actually think looks pretty good so far. Again, this is light to medium coverage, so it's not meant to be a full coverage, which is fine with me. I am gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. And so I'm kind of just tapping it in. And do the other side of my face. I'm gonna go a little bit more on this side just because now I know the other side wasn't enough, and go on the forehead. I'm gonna go for a light coverage. I'm not going for super full coverage today. Like I said, the foundation is meant to be light to medium coverage, so I'm not expecting it to be like a full-on mask. So it's definitely not pore filling. I have pores here and here. The Hygro-grip primer, I wouldn't say super pore filling either, but it's okay. I'm gonna go in and add a bit more, just in the areas where I have like my sunspots and some acne scars. See how it's building. It seems to be building nicely. It's not clinging to anything. I did make sure to moisturize before I went in with my primer. The shade in my mirror, again, does look a smidge too neutral for my preference. Like I said, I prefer to go for a slightly warmer, more golden undertone, because my undertone does pull like yellow greenish, so the golden ones I just feel more comfortable in them. However, sometimes the golden ones go too golden, and then I end up just looking so off. Okay, so that's our application. Like I said, it blended nice. Looking at here closely, I'm not liking how it's gathering on my nose. Yeah, that's not cute. I don't know if I lean in if you guys can see this, but it's like gathering weird on my nose. Most of my foundations don't do that. I wonder if I add some product there. Maybe tap it in softer. Ooh, no. I don't like how that's gathering on my nose at all. I don't know if you guys can see what it's looking like. I'll try to zoom in. So weird. Everywhere else looks fine. That could also be from the primer, but like I said, realistically, the Hygro-grip primer is what I would use, so. Okay, I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then we will come back. Hey guys, I'm back. I just went ahead and did the rest of my face. I went for something really simple. I did just a little bit of like bronzer in my crease, mascara, my typical. Every product that I use on top of the foundation seemed to blend out fine. Like I don't think I had any issues. Again, I used all my typical products. I'm still not loving the way it's looking on my nose, but I'm thinking that's because of the primer, because I do recall this has happened to me before when I'm like in a hurry and using the Hygro-grip primer and just kind of like tap it around and don't let it settle and sit in, it tends to do that. So it might be because of that. But yeah, so I'm gonna test this out. I'm hoping to try and do like a wear test on this today, since it is almost 3 o'clock. When I put this on, it was about 2:30-ish. I'm gonna wear it for the rest of the day. I don't know if it'll be a full 8 hours, but I'll try to do some check-ins throughout the day. I have a couple errands to run, and that way we can maybe see how it holds up with a mask. So far, I'm not like yes, go buy this. I think the shade is also throwing me off. The shade is just a smidge lighter. It's a bit lighter than what I am used to. However, it is a pretty good shade match. So you can see between here and my neck, like it doesn't look like that much of a difference, which is good. So yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. Hello. We are back. I know I said I would try and do some check-ins, but the sun just went down way too fast before I was able to get any actual footage that you guys could actually see my face with this foundation on. By the time I got off work and tried to go outside, the lighting just didn't work. So I'm sorry I didn't get to do any check-ins. However, I did have to run a couple of errands. So I had to do some grocery shopping and some driving around, pick up a couple of things here and there. So I would consider it still a wear trust and giving it a good shot. The time right now is maybe 15 to 8, 7:45. So I've been wearing this foundation for about 5-ish hours, a bit more than 5 hours, and honestly, I am liking it so far. I know I mentioned earlier that I didn't like the way it was sitting on my nose. That is still, I still stand by that, but everywhere else, the foundation looks great. My oils did come through a little bit, so it did help the stick foundation look a bit more natural in my opinion. I was wearing a mask for at least a good 30 to 40 minutes while I was running those errands, and it doesn't seem to have rubbed off much. Actually, let me grab my mask so I can show you guys if there's any residue on it. So I got my mask, and looking at the inside, there's definitely some residue on it. So you can see right there, and some bit on this side as well. So definitely not transfer proof. I wasn't expecting it to. I don't really believe any claim on any foundation that says it's transfer proof. I haven't used one to date that actually is transfer proof. So far, I would say I'd give this foundation 4.5 stars out of 5. 4 to 4.5 is just for right now, just because of the way it's clinging on my nose. I want to try it again and see if it still does that, or whether I just need to exfoliate or it's the primer. But yeah, definitely 4 out of 5 stars so far. I don't feel like overly oily, and yeah, it's like a good everyday foundation, not too heavy coverage, natural looking. It's not matte by any means. It's definitely a skin-like finish. I would say it's good. If you're a fan of Huda Beauty and her products and have been interested in trying it out, I would say it's worth giving it a shot. This is, I think, the first stick foundation I've actually ever tried. So I would really do some homework in terms of looking up reviews to find your shade. Unless you know your shade in the original Fauxfilter foundation, the liquid one, and you can use that chart that I mentioned earlier to kind of compare and see what your shade is now. Other than that, I would really take time to look at reviews, see the shades on people that have the same complexion or skin tone as yourself, as well as looking at her charts to get an idea as to what shade would work best for you. So that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thanks for joining. This is my first foundation review on my channel, so I am excited for that. If you've stuck around this long, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with me and hear what I have to say about this foundation. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, welcome. Happy to have you. Happy you clicked on this video. Make sure to like the video. That lets me know if you guys like these types of videos, and then I can continue to make more of them. And also, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications when I upload. I'm really trying to be consistent of getting at least 1 video up a week, maybe 2 if we're lucky. So we'll see how that pans out. Enjoy the rest of the day or the rest of the evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.